name is Holly Camper, and I'm the senior class president. This speech is not so much about me, but about us. I would like to say how extremely proud I am of our class. I don't know many people who know this, but when we were promoted from both 5th and 8th grade, our teachers and principals made comments that we were a very special group. I remember hearing that we were one of the most respectful classes to walk through Graham, and that they could tell that we were going to be very successful in the future. Now, I can't speak for anyone else, but I believe these things still stand true. Not only are we athletically, academically, and extracurricularly competitive and involved, but we are loving and supporting along the way. We encourage our competition at school because we don't want anyone to not succeed. However, none of our success comes easily. We all work our butts off for it, all the while being challenged by outside sources that have nothing to do with what we're working towards. Our class in particular has dealt with more hardship than most. We have been put through things that no teenager should. We have dealt with the loss of extremely close friends, one of which should be here graduating with us today and should be standing in the spot giving this speech. We have lost the best 3 months of our senior year to a worldwide pandemic, which has led to the loss of all kinds of events seniors look forward to. Graduation, prom, senior skip day, signing day, senior musical, senior sports seasons, properly saying goodbye to teachers and friends, and so many more. Our class has been dealt a really bad hand of cards, and yet we're still playing them well. We have shown our potential in mighty ways to everyone around us. As a class, we have lost so much, but it hasn't stopped us from reaching our goals. We exceed all expectations and push ourselves to bounce back from adversity. As we go from this place, remember how strong each and every one of you are. When life gets hard, and it will, remember how resilient you are. You can and will get through any struggle that comes your way. I am honored to be the class of 2020's president. There is no group of kids that has walked through Graham High School that impresses me more. Be proud of your accomplishments. Walk out of these doors with your heads held high, ready to face the world, and always know that you are resilient.
Forward, march. Left, 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 right. Left, left, through, halt. Left, face.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Left, face. Forward, march. Left, 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 right. Left, 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 right.
Dear class of 2020, this year is going to be an awesome year because this year all you have to do is be yourself. Who knew that these words that may have been uttered in August would have ended on a year like this? Class of 2020, there are no words to describe this year or how anyone feels in regards to how the last few months have been. This year was to be your year. It was to be that year with that amazing homecoming, that prom with all your friends, a clap out through the elementary, middle, and high schools, to be able to see friends and teachers one last time as a student. This was supposed to be the chance to finish the basketball and wrestling season. It was to be your last musical, one more band performance, and one last opportunity to compete in spring sports such as track, baseball, or softball. You were supposed to have the opportunity to complete your year in FFA, FCCLA, HOSA, BPA, or Rising Educators. This was supposed to be a graduation that was to be traditional, one that would be shared with friends and family. This was supposed to be your year. What did you get instead? You received a significant memory. That's what you received. This will be the year that you look back and say, remember that year when everything got canceled? And we had to, or we were supposed to wear masks around everybody, just in case, had to stay 6 feet away from everyone. And they put barriers up and marks to help protect people so that you knew what 6 feet looked like. You also got a year first. The first year of digital everything. And by the way, you have been crowned the all-time skip day champions. What I have personally enjoyed is watching how this community has come together to support you. The Graham 2020 Adopt a Senior page on Facebook has been terrific, with the pages of community members and families supporting you. Yard signs and goodie bags have been made to make this time more bearable. It is important to note, though, that it didn't take a pandemic for this community and these family members and friends to support you. This support has been there all along, and it will continue to be there to support you. This is unconditional love. We are proud of your accomplishments and the things that you will accomplish. We know you'll do great things, especially when you set your mind to it. In this class, there have been state and national qualifiers in FFA, FCCLA, and HOSA, choir, wrestling, and bowling. Students who have qualified for livestock expeditions, traveled to national FCCLA competitions, and received a 1 at the state OMEA competitions. And individuals that are part of the Division II State Wrestling Championship and several individual titles. Also amongst you is Avery Anderson, and she has completed and earned her associate's degree prior to her high school diploma. We have students that have chosen to be enrolled at colleges and universities, and students choosing to be employed directly after school. We also have a group of students that have chosen to continue to work for the freedoms that we enjoy today. These students are enlisting into the Army, the Navy, the National Guard, the Marines, and the Air Force. I want to congratulate our students that have spent 4 years of consecutive attendance here in our buildings. Matthew Case, Owen McGuffey, Nadia Ritter, and Ryan St. Myers. I also want to congratulate our top 10 students. Adrian Blinken, who was also a top 10 student up at High Point. Chloe DeRota, Samantha Haynes, Holly Camper, Alexis Lewis, Luke Miller, Caitlin Nash, Nadia Ritter, Paige Rudolph, and Samuel Stickley. And also congratulations to our valedictorian Alexis Lewis and salutatorian Holly Camper. As we draw this chapter to a close, I'd like to think of the lyrics in Dirk Bentley's song, Living. Some days you just breathe in, just try to break even. Sometimes your heart's pounding out of your chest. Sometimes it's just beating. Some days you just forget what all you've been given. Some days you just get back, and some days you're just alive. Some days you're living. Some days you start singing, and you don't need a reason. Sometimes the world's just right. Your clear eyes ain't even blinking. Got a heart full of grateful for all you've been given. Some days you just get by. We want to wish you the best of luck, class of 2020. We wish you all the best with the next step of your lives. Please enjoy this moment. You have earned it. Today, you graduate.
When I was in 6th grade, my teacher made our class write an agenda for how we wanted our year to go, and then continue to write about how our choices and goals for that year would affect the rest of our lives. I had always wanted to be a good student, so I set some very high goals. I wrote to myself that I was going to get all A's that year, and then followed it up with, I am going to Yale. Now, I did get all A's and have maintained that ever since, but all I gotta say is Holly Camper is not going to Yale. I'm actually going to Sinclair Community College, which is not the typical 4-year college at all. When people ask me why I chose Sinclair over OSU, Wittenberg, and UC, I tell them that I chose to go to Sinclair because there's not one thing I can achieve at those bigger schools that I won't be able to achieve at Sinclair. And honestly, I think this is a good general rule of thumb. You should never rely on other people or things to define success for you. Success is not a college or any particular job, but it is eternal. You are the one who gets to choose if you succeed. You should be the one setting goals to reach for and defining what success looks like for you. As long as you are giving your all when working to achieve your goals, then that is true success. Your best is enough. I think it is important for us all to understand that we are young adults and we are learning and growing each and every day. We are going to have bad days where we don't achieve everything that we wanted to. We are going to have days where we want to hang out with friends or family instead of working on the things we need to get done for school or work. We are going to have days where we are just sad and need to stay home in bed all day. We are allowed to do this. We are allowed to take time for ourselves to learn and grow. We need to allow ourselves to take breaks and just have fun. Just because you aren't working every second of every day doesn't mean that you aren't going to succeed. In fact, taking a break and allowing yourself to have fun every once in a while may even just help you out in the long run. In the future, when you catch yourself getting overwhelmed or having a go lifestyle, remember that it's okay to walk away from your life for a moment. It's okay to reflect and focus only on you. Set those goals high but attainable and work your butt off for them. But don't forget that overworking yourself will not help you reach them any faster. And if you don't reach a specific goal the first time, don't give up. Anything is possible if you work for it, even if it feels like it's taking forever. Remember to aim high, have fun, and work hard. Give yourself breaks, but hold yourself accountable. The only person who defines your success is you. So if you're worried or scared about what's to come in the future, don't be. You will be successful.
Hello, staff, faculty, members of the community, board members, students, and families. I don't know whether to say good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when you watch this, so I will say welcome, and I hope you are all staying safe and healthy. This is quite an unusual and odd way to be sharing this speech, but I'm very thankful and excited to be able to speak to you today as valedictorian of the class of 2020. This moment has manifested itself to fruition in crazy and unprecedented ways, but here we are nonetheless. I know that none of us would have expected something like this pandemic to shake our world the way that it has, but we've all been able to move through it in ways we didn't know were possible. Now, I'm not going to make this speech all about Miss Rona, so let's take a step back into the past for a moment. Behind us lies many years of hard work, dedication, studying, note-taking, procrastination at times, test-taking, and everything that school seems to be all about. We walked the halls of elementary as vulnerable, wide-eyed children with about a total of 0 cares and worries in the world. We grew tremendously through these fundamental years of our education, and before we knew it, we were figuring out how to open lockers, traveling to classes without a guiding teacher, and learning how to navigate the big, nasty realm of middle school. In middle school, we were able to step into newer territory and start taking classes of more interest to us. We found new friendships and were able to grow stronger in our ones from elementary. We started joining organized sports teams and found where some of our true passions were before finally coming to the halls of Graham High School. In high school, our scope was opened even further and we were able to expand our horizons further than ever before. We focused more on our athletics and academics, fueling our energy towards all of our passions. We explored clubs, organizations, and even made some life changes here and there. We went to the Coffee Depot for study dates after school or to share the new gossip of the day. And we cheered at the Friday night football games, and we managed to always be the worst class at pep rallies every single time. Sure, we didn't get to attend spring baseball games, and we missed prom, and our final moments walking the halls of the high school as a student came on a random day in March. But the things we did get to do are insurmountable, and they should be appreciated and cherished. Now we step into an even bigger and more unknown future that lies ahead of us. Some of us have chosen to enlist, serving our country dutifully and full of honor, pride, and courage. And to you, we thank you for all that you will do for us. Some have chosen to go straight into employment, entering the adult world through skilled professions or other forms of labor. Others have chosen to enroll, continuing the learning process in hopes to further their educational pursuits. The future remains unknown and even quite scary at times, but we should walk into it with our heads held high and a firm belief in ourselves and all that we've been able to accomplish. Thinking about the past and future, what lies behind and ahead of us leads me to my final points. What lies within us? This year, both at school and at home, has taught us all many things that we will carry with us for the rest of our lives. Things that we probably wouldn't have learned for a very long time had it not been for this pandemic. We have learned about love, what is truly important to us, about the things we are grateful for every day that went unnoticed in the past, and quite a lot about ourselves. Let's be honest, we've been spending a lot of time either with ourselves or around very few family members, and even at some of those times we had probably wished we were just left alone. But in those times, we've been able to discover new things about ourselves, whether it be an interest in art, a discovery of a new Netflix show, an attempt at cooking, or simply taking the time to relax and unwind. In all these moments, we have been able to take into consideration many ideas about life that we probably took for granted before. We were able to gain an appreciation of hanging out with friends, going on those coffee dates, being able to sit in a classroom, and all the little moments life has to offer. You've probably heard the saying that life is all about the small moments. Life is just a collection of those tiny bursting moments that are memories before we know it. I don't mean to get too deep and heavy with this speech, but I do hope that you take away this. Really enjoy those moments. Take hold of those sparks of light, the fleeting moments of laughter, a warm hug. When we appreciate these things, we appreciate life. All of these things that have always been within us have grown and been illuminated over the past 13 years, and especially over this last year as seniors. A year defined by staying at home has shaped the years of our lives where we were supposed to be branching out, growing, and leaving the nest, pun intended. We will do that, and it may be a little bit of a delay, but we have come together in unimaginable ways through social media, online posts, and from separate cars or through FaceTime and Zoom. Now I'd like to take a moment to thank a few people. To our teachers, thank you for guiding us all along the way, and thank you for all of your hard work and perseverance through online schooling and adapting to new ways of teaching. We are forever grateful for the things that you have instilled in us when we were younger children, growing teens, and now young adults. Thank you to office workers and guidance counselors for being available to help us and guide us through this crazy transition into the next chapter of our life. Thank you to members of the community who have supported the Graham family throughout all of these years. Thank you to our own families who have been truly there through all the ups and downs, whether they came on the field, in the classroom, or at home. Now for some more personal thank yous. To Maddie and Abby, thank you for showing me what friendship means, for sharing the same passions as me, and for always making me feel like I never walk alone. I promised myself I wouldn't do this. Thank you, Mom, for being the best mother in the world, but also the bestest friend in the world. You teach me what it means to love every single day. Dad, thank you for your unwavering support and for being a rock I can always count on for laughs, support, and encouragement. I hope Mike is proud, and if you don't want to play that way, don't play that way. Jordan, thank you for being the best sibling a girl could ask for, and thank you for always watching sports and The Office with me. I am forever indebted to you for all of your help with calc, and if I don't score higher than you, I swear that I'll never live it down. Mamaw, thank you for showing me what it means to be hopeful and faithful, and for all of your prayers and continuous love. I would also like to acknowledge a member of the class of 2020 who is no longer with us, Sarah Hess. Sarah, you are dearly missed and forever loved. You will always be remembered as a member of the class of 2020, as an athlete and a teammate, as a scholarly young woman, but most importantly, as a daughter, a friend, and a sister. With the closing of this chapter and the opening of another, let us not forget what is behind us and what has brought us here. Soren Kierkegaard once said that life can only be understood backwards, so let us never forget what the past has taught us. Ahead we have bright, hopeful futures that, although unknown, are full of excitement, promise, and memories in the making. For now, we have this and this moment, and we have ourselves. Let us continue to move forward in light and in hope, and let us never stop learning and never stop loving. Let our wings fly, let us love and speak ourselves, let us believe in ourselves while lifting up those around us. And although we are apart, let us remember that we are never alone. To my fellow graduates, I can't wait to see what all you do in life. I wish happiness and health to you and all of your families, and thank you for providing me with some of the best memories of my life over the past 13 years.
Good afternoon. I'm Luke Miller, and I thank you all for permitting me to speak today. It is a great honor. Just 4 short years ago, I walked off the bus and into my first day of high school. If I had known how ridiculously fast it would go, I would have done a few things differently. I think the entire class of 2020 can relate to that. I want the middle schoolers and underclassmen here to take this to heart. In a few short years, you'll be at your graduation wondering where the time went. You only go through high school once, so make these years worth remembering. Make them special. You sometimes hear your grandparents saying, "Those were the good old days." Middle schoolers and underclassmen, if you don't think your good old days are here yet, you're depriving yourself. if you can break out of your little shell of ingratitude and realize that you are in your good old days, you will have just the right attitude to make them even more successful and unforgettable than your wildest dreams. Today, it doesn't matter how new or fast your car was or how expensive your clothes were. The only thing, seniors, that matters today is the kindness you've given out to your fellow classmates, teachers, and friends. When we look at our lives, placement in the history of the world, we realize that we are privileged, profoundly and thoroughly privileged. It humbles me to realize that many others in this world don't have the same privileges. That brings up the worst thing of all. Did we deserve it? No. We're spoiled. We're sinners. We don't even deserve the air we breathe. We rebelled against our Creator. Why doesn't He just destroy us all right now? Because He loves us. That is why we are called to love others. We are called to accept our undeserved privileges, then pass them on to the next generation. Thank you, fellow students, for being my friends, peers, and classmates. I will miss you all. Thank you, parents, teachers, staff, and principals, for passing these great privileges on to us. America, here comes class of 2020.
We did it. We've spent 13 years working hard to achieve what we've just accomplished. 13 years of studying, testing, and learning has led up to this moment, and just like that, it's over. We've been through so much over these 13 years. We've seen friendships end, breakups, a recession, 3 presidential elections, a pandemic, and sadly, the loss of our most beloved friends. We've seen more in our 13 years than most would have expected us to see. We've conquered everything that came our way, and for that, I applaud you. Now as we sit waiting for the next chapter of our lives, we wonder what else we will witness. And with that, I ask you to join me with the moving of your tassel from the right side of your cap to the left side of your cap, signifying that we have graduated from high school. Congratulations, class of 2020, we made it.
Hello, classmates and soon-to-be graduates sitting before me. It is my sincere pleasure to deliver one of the commencement speeches tonight. But before I begin, I must ask, how many of you have heard of Dr. Seuss? I figured. Now, I'm sure we've all read The Cat in the Hat and Green Eggs and Ham. There's one book, though, some of us might not have read yet, but have heard of, which is, Oh, the Places You'll Go. The reason I bring this up is because I believe Dr. Seuss wrote Oh, the Places You'll Go specifically for anyone entering adulthood and starting a new chapter in their lives, like us. I think most of us would agree that the first chapter of our lives began when we were born up until our very first day of school. This first chapter would include milestones, like learning how to walk, talk, ride a bike, read, things like that. Then, the second chapter, maybe, started in our early childhood until, well, now. And the third chapter? That's the one about to begin. Graduating high school is just the rising action of our stories. New things will begin to happen and become more exciting. Some of us have plans to join the military, head to college, or go to the workforce. No matter what we choose, it will be the beginning of the next chapter of our lives. We mustn't forget, though, that all of our stories' chapters aren't going to be easy. There will be mistakes, ones we've already made or have yet to make. There will be curveballs, or maybe some acts of God. There might be some unpleasant bumps that we will wish never happened and won't want to talk about. Maybe we'll be lonely, or just find ourselves stuck with no clear direction. Regardless, these times will pass and we will have learned something that we can add to our stories. These less than ideal situations make our life stories interesting, and the people that we tell our stories to will want to know about them, how they shaped our characters, and how they led us to where we've been, where we are, or where we are going. As you think about the first 2 chapters of your life tonight, what are you feeling? Proud? Sorry? Satisfied? Disappointed? Remember, if it isn't quite what you want, your story isn't over yet, and you are still the author, after all. You have the power to change it. Although you may not get to decide exactly what does or does not happen next, you will be able to decide how you respond and how you act. It is your story, not anyone else's. Unless, of course, you give them the pen. Back to the Dr. Seuss thing I mentioned at the beginning of the speech. It seems ironic that we likely began our childhoods reading his books, and now nearly 13 years later we are thinking about them again as we take our first steps into adulthood. With that being said, I'd like to read you the first few sentences of the places you'll go. Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places, you're off and away. With that in mind, like Dr. Seuss said, after graduation, you're on your own and only destined for greatness if you go out and make it happen. So, 60 years or so from now, when your life is beginning to wrap up and wind down, and you reflect on your book of life and all of the chapters that you lived, hopefully you will have lived them the way you wanted and achieved whatever greatness you aspired to. And, hopefully, you will be able to tell a story someday that you'll be proud to tell when someone asks, "What's your story?" Thank you.
To the Graham High School class of 2020. When I look back on our time together, I'm reminded that our class has been a new era from the very beginning. We have adapted to changes in our country, our district, our class, and our everyday lives. Together, we have excelled in the face of change and adversity. We are a new era in our country. Many of us are the first generation born after September 11th, 2001, a tragic day in our nation's history and a pivotal moment for our future, as none of us know a world without the war on terrorism. After 9/11, when our country faced terrorism and tragedy, we were born into a society that was faced with a new reality. We showed patriotism and a love for our fellow citizens. We came out kicking and screaming, ready to show the world that we were here to take a stand, grow, learn, and succeed. We were a new era in our district. We are the first class to begin our education at the new Graham Elementary School. We are the first graduating class that were able to walk down shiny new halls, have air conditioning and technology at our disposal. We started kindergarten together with plenty of room to learn, grow, and play with our friends. We have continued to grow and be a new light in our community. We face a new era in our class. While we are not the first class to lose a classmate, we all were faced with a tragedy on November 3rd, 2017, that changed our class. While we treasure Sarah's memory, we also learned a great deal about being there for each other, being a good friend, and continuing to be dedicated to all the things she stood for: faith, family, sports, and agriculture. We are a new era faced with a pandemic our senior year. Who would have thought this could happen? None of us expected to graduate high school by watching a video on Twitter. However, we finished our high school career despite the challenges of distance learning and slow rural Wi-Fi. We have persevered. We have excelled in our goals, and we have been able to reach our graduation in spite of the adversity we faced. Our world will be different in the future due to the pandemic, but that's not going to stop us. Each of these challenges has set us apart as a new era in our community, one that is strong and resilient and prepared to face the challenges life will throw at us. I am proud to be a part of the class of 2020, a new era from the beginning. So as we go forth into our lives, whether in higher education, enlisting in the military, or joining the workforce, we can be proud of our accomplishments. We can and will face adversity in the future, but we also know we can face all challenges and come out ahead. It takes more than a pandemic to keep down the class of 2020. We will move forward and upward to great things. And I'd like to leave you with these words. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable. If anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Philippians 4:8. Thank you.
2020 Senior Class Treasurer, I am happy to announce that with all of our hard work and dedication to Graham High School, we are able to make a contribution and leave our legacy. We will be honoring Sarah Hess with a bench in her name that we placed in the hallway outside the gymnasium doors. Thank you.
Welcome, Graham High School Class of 2020. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to you on this happy occasion. If you feel a little unbalanced while you watch this commencement speech, that's understandable. If you feel a little cheated, that's to be expected. If you feel you are missing out on cherished graduation memories and traditions, throwing your cap in the air, standing beside your classmates shoulder to shoulder, shaking hands with members of the Board of Education. It's because you are missing those things. The changes that COVID-19 has brought us are undeniable in all aspects of life. But for the class of 2020, there is one big feature. One day you were students coming to school, and the next day you weren't. And it doesn't seem to be an event that marks that in some celebratory and official way. For decades to come, you, as the class of 2020, will reflect on your senior year and talk about before Corona and after Corona. Things were different after Corona. Studying was different. Learning was different. Family life was different. Work was different. Church was different. Communication was different. Perhaps even perspective was different. If life has taught you anything by now, however, you likely have learned that different isn't necessarily better, and it's not necessarily worse. It's just different. Some might say you've learned to adapt, and that's a significant achievement. In learning to adapt to this whole different way of life, you've learned more than you could be achieved through textbooks and lectures. Your adaptation and your success to this new way of doing things is preparing you for a life that will be more flexible and indeed more resilient. You've faced changes in the world that are not unlike those faced by graduates at the end of World War II. In a graduation speech in 1947, George Marshall told the class that the future hangs, I think, to a large extent on the realization of the American people of just what are the various dominant factors. What are the reactions of the people? What are the sufferings? What is needed? What must be done? The same is true for you, the class of 2020. In 1963, during the threat of nuclear war, President John F. Kennedy told another graduating class, "Our most common link is that we all inhabit this small planet. We all breathe the same air. We all cherish our child's future, and we are all mortal." Again, the same realizations we have today. But we need not fear the future because we don't face it without tools. The class of 2020 has knowledge, has creativity, has experience in fighting adversity, and indeed has the ability to adapt. You will lead us into the future. As J.K. Rowling said in 2008, we don't need magic to change the world. We have that power inside us. Congratulations on your graduation. Class of 2020, you are already in the history books for your perseverance through the worst health crisis in over a century. This is your time to change our world. Again, congratulations. It is my distinct honor and privilege to announce that these members of the class of 2020 Graham High School, having successfully completed all the curriculum requirements set forth by the Ohio Department of Education and the Graham Board of Education, is hereby certified eligible to receive their high school diplomas. Congratulations.
Olivia Jane Algren, with High Honors and Honors Diploma. Avery Elaine Anderson. Brady Allen Anderson. Logan Allen Anthony, with honors. Branson James Anway. Sean Andrew Back. Aaliyah Trinity Bacon. Mackenzie Ruth Bales. Tyler Edward Bailey, with honors and career technical honors diploma. Nicholas Aaron Baker. Winter Dawn Barone. Addison Taylor Lynn Bowser. Adrian Gabrielle Blaken, with high honors. Aubrey Nicole Blosser. Stephen Eugene Boring. Aaliyah Marie Botner. Zachary John Bumgardner. Matthew Brian Case. Travis John Chestnut. Joelle Rebecca Chrisman. Ariana Breon Church. Allie Jo Coletti, with high honors and honors diploma. Taylor Paige Conley. Katie Marie Cook. William Todd Andrew Crawford. Ira Hayes Creviston. Donna Jo Cups. Micah John Davis. Timothy Wayne Dayhoff Jr. Tyler Marie Demet, with high honors. Austin Jacob Dixon. Ashton Matthew Dooley. Chloe Anna Dorota, with high honors and honors diploma. Wyatt Grant Drown, with honors. Allison Nicole Dunn. Colton William Dunn, with high honors. Amber Dawn Eaton. Mallory Nicole Fannin, with high honors and honors diploma. Ellie Danielle Fox. Travis Lee Frost. Sierra Josie Muriel Furrow. Alexis Elaine Garver, with honors. Hunter Lane Gibson. Samantha Lynn Haynes, with high honors and honors diploma. Leah Irene Henry. Lyndon Wesley Hoblet. Blake Calvin Hoffer. Darren Anthony J. Houston. Madison Lee Howard, with honors and honors diploma. Timothy Christopher Hughes, with honors. Morgan Elizabeth Johnson. Rebecca Diane Kaiser, with high honors. Holly Elizabeth Camper, with high honors, honors diploma, and class salutatorian. Rhett Christopher Kane. Elise Catherine Kemp, with high honors. Nathan Alexander Kronk. Ethan Michael Langford. Victoria Ann Loftman. Olivia K. Lawrence, with high honors and honors diploma. Alexis Marie Lewis, with high honors, honors diploma, and class valedictorian. Zachary Ronald Lewis. Hayden Zane Lingrel. Seth Elias Lippincott. Abigail Grace Littoral. Wesley Ann Gracie Long, with high honors. Eden Georgia Markwell. Hunter Alexander Mays. Maxwell David Mazingo. Owen Paul McGuffey, with high honors and honors diploma. Peyton Lee Hunter McKellop. Destiny Ann McPherson. Jacob Thomas Miller. Luke Stephen Miller, with high honors and honors diploma. Heather Diane Miller Hayes, with honors. Andrew Sherman Milligan, with high honors and honors diploma. Hannah Jean Monroe. Alexis Nicole Mullen. Caitlin Olivia Nash, with high honors and honors diploma. Christian Paul Nichols. McKenna Lee Nichols. Kylie Madison Overton. Lisbeth Perez Cardona. Ryan Joseph Recker, with high honors, honors diploma, and career technical honors diploma. Matthew Lee Reed. Dakota Jordan Riley. Nadia Nicole Ritter, with high honors and honors diploma. Dessa Marie Roberts. Andrew Charles Robeson, with high honors. Madison Elizabeth Rose, with high honors. Dawson Wyatt Rowe. Paige Alexandra Rudolph, with high honors. Kimberly Morgan Ruff. Zachary Curtis Sanderson II. Taylor Nicole Scott, with high honors and honors diploma. Evan Wayne Sells. Kyler David Shank. Madeline Elise Shear, with high honors and honors diploma. Brinnick Ann Inskeep Simpson, with high honors. Mackenzie Nicole Skaggs, with high honors. Lane Gregory Smith, with high honors and honors diploma. Madeline Elizabeth Smith, with high honors and honors diploma. Alexander Jennings Sparks. Garrett Austin Spriggs. Ryan Daniel St. Myers, with high honors, honors diploma, and career technical honors diploma. Jacob Edward Stewart, with honors and honors diploma. Samuel Franklin Stickley, with high honors, honors diploma, and career technical honors diploma. Brandon Lee Settles. Tristan Landon Paul Thomas. Brianna Renee Tokai, with honors. Sydney K. Underwood. Kennedy Grinnell Waller. Adrian Michael Wachkowski, with honors. Mariah Danielle Wright, Certificate of Attendance. Joseph Andrew Yukon. Amara Lynn Zirkle.